And the final 41-6. That ties its largest win in franchise postseason history. Their other 35-point win, interestingly enough, came against the Broncos in Super Bowl 48. We'll have more on Denver later. Lindsey Theory is with Leonard Williams. That's new on SportsCenter.
Leonard, multiple stops on fourth down, multiple turnovers for your defense. How did you guys get to the Niners tonight?
I mean, honestly, I think we just have so much trust and belief in one another. We've been really holding down the title of the dark side this year. And what a better way to do it right now in a primetime game in the playoffs against a great team. Defense really showed out today.
There were a lot of questions about Sam Darnold coming into this and his health. What did you see from your quarterback?
I mean, what I seen from my team, first of all, is no blinking. I think as soon as we found that out about Sam, everybody was trusting in the next man up, Drew. It's been like that all season long. Guys have been stepping up in positions all year. And we're obviously happy to have Sam out there today, and he executed well.
Rashid Shaheed starts this game off with a kickoff return for a touchdown. What kind of tone did that set?
I mean, it's crazy. I told him right before the play, go set the tone. And that really lit up the stadium. It set the tone of the whole game. And, I mean, lucky to have that guy on our team.
You guys worked to get home field advantage. What did this home field advantage bring for you tonight?
I mean, the fans showed up great. The 12 show out every time we're home. And, I mean, it's an amazing feeling to have home field advantage in the playoffs. And, I mean, it feels incredible in here right now.
What does it mean to you to play for the NFC Championship?
It feels amazing. We're only one game away from the Super Bowl. We take it one day at a time, though. I think that's the blessing of our team. That's what's been getting us to this point. And we're going to go back on Monday and keep dialing up.
Leonard, congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, Damien Woody joins us now here. And Wood, look, the Niners took a shot to the dome with that opening kickoff return. That's okay. So they're already down. But like whatever response maybe they thought they were going to have, it felt like Seattle didn't allow them to have it. They jumped on them early and they stayed on them the whole game.
49ers walked into a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
You know, listen, go back to Week 18 on the road for the opportunity to play for the number one seed.
Yep.
And we saw a glimpse of how the Seattle Seahawks team was going to play. And then you fast forward a couple weeks later where a team in the Seattle Seahawks, when you have the number one seed, that's the advantage. Yeah. You get rest, you get opportunity to game plan, and you're going up against a beaten and battered 49ers team. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, the 49ers, there was a great coaching job by Kyle Shanahan, but they ran out of bodies. They ran out of bodies, they ran out of steam, and they ran up against a team that is one of the best teams in the National Football League, maybe the best team in the National Football League.
I was hoping you were going to qualify that as one of the best, because they might be the team right now. It's sort of, they had the best point differential in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The 49ers, last 8 quarters against the Seahawks team, they've managed 10 points total.
Yes.
It's just really impressive the way the Seahawks have done this. Any sort of wrinkles or problems you see with this Seattle team right now? They did lose Zach Charbonnet today. Don't know his status going into next week.
I think the biggest thing that you see from the Seattle Seahawks team over the last few weeks towards the end of the season is their ability to run the football. They've been able to, this running game of the Seahawks has really been cranking up, and that plays into exactly what they want to do offensively. They want to be a team that runs it and then play action pass off of that. They weren't doing that early on in the season. For most of the season, their running game was kind of up and down. But now, as of late, they've really been cranking up the heat on this running game. And it takes pressure off of Sam Darnold. Yeah. That's what you've really been seeing with this running game kind of taking a stranglehold of late. It's not all that pressure on Sam Darnold. He's able to play, error-free football. And when you combine that with the way they play defense, good luck with the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, speaking of Sam Darnold, obviously we heard Lindsey Theory bring that up. There was concern because he had that oblique injury and he was actually questionable coming into this game, but he threw for 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Granted, he didn't have to do too much in this game. So that's the good news for the Seahawks in terms of jumping out early. But as far as his concern going forward with his condition, you say what?
Bro, you going to the NFC Championship game. I worry about injuries in the offseason.
Okay.
I don't care. Whatever you got to do, you do it at this juncture in the season. So, listen, I'm pretty sure that Sam is hurt just like every other player at this time of year. Everyone's hurt. No one's 100%.
Okay, with that said, though, are you a little surprised that the Niners defense couldn't get to him more?
Well, they were running the ball. Like, they ran the ball for like 200 yards against the 49ers. And that's part of what I was talking about just a minute ago. Their ability to run the football now is taking so much pressure off of Sam Darnold. These teams aren't allowing, they can't force the Seattle Seahawks to be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
If it was all on Sam Darnold, then
he only threw it 17 times.
Correct.
Right?
And when
17 times to get him.
And when you can play that type of game where you can run the football, your quarterback is efficient, and you play smothering defense, you're going to be a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that defense, because you look all across that defense in every level, Damien. I mean, they're just standouts every position, it seems like.
Yeah, you know, when I watch this defense, obviously it starts with their front, and they got bodies, they got dudes up front that can just get after you and come after you in waves. But the thing that really jumps out to me is the speed in which this defense plays, and what that tells me is they're not running a whole lot of things on defense. They want their guys. They don't want guys thinking a lot. They want guys flying and hitting. Hit, stick. That's all they want to do with the Seattle Seahawks. They got athletes on all three levels. The scheme isn't overly complicated, and those guys are just flying around to the football.
Wild seesaw affair in which the Broncos prevailed over the Bills in overtime. And yet, for all of that, the biggest twist of the day came after Sean Payton's postgame news conference.
Yeah, devastating news there in Denver. We had no idea what he was going to say. He did a press conference, came back, and this was the news that he gave, that his starting quarterback is done for the season.
Not good news. On the second to last play in overtime, Bo fractured a bone in his right ankle. He's scheduled to have surgery Tuesday of this week, which will put him out for the rest of the season. Steady's ready to go. And it was the second to last play before he threw the pass to Mims.
You just said Stiddy's going to be ready. We've seen him in bits and pieces here in the preseason and
anything.
A couple years
Yeah,
ago.
I would say this in fairness to what you've seen, which is very limited. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready. Like I said this at the beginning of the season, I feel like I've got a two that's capable of starting for a handful of number of teams, and I know he feels the same way. So watch out, watch, just watch.
Well, Stiddy is Jarrett Stidham, the backup quarterback there in Denver. We'll talk about him in a moment. But so Denver has this great win. They're going to be at home again, but now they don't have their starting quarterback. How much of a blow, despite what we just heard from Sean Payton, how much of a blow is this to their chances to go to the Super Bowl?
It's a huge blow. It's one of those things where it seemed like you won the battle but lost the war, because Bo Nix played a phenomenal game. And the one thing that Bo Nix has done so well this season, he's played his best football at the most important points during the game. Late in games, he's been at his best. And clearly in this game, he played in the fourth quarter in overtime. Bo Nix was dealing. He was dealing out there. And so to go out here and win the game in that fashion, only to find out that my guy broke his ankle and now is out for the year, like, that is crushing in the locker room. I don't care how you slice it. It is crushing to those guys in the locker room.
And evidently, clearly, it's not a devastating break, because he was still walking afterwards, did an interview, but just a fracture in the ankle, but it's significant enough that they're going to have to shut him down.
But he's a pretty tough guy, right? He got up from that play where he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
And you could not tell he was hurt at all.
No one realized it.
But you know what? Listen, I've been in a situation where I tore my Achilles actually during a last-minute drive, and the adrenaline just takes over. And I went back and looked at that play multiple times. He was just like, kind of like jogging back.
Right.
Like it was nothing. I didn't even notice anything that would have led me to believe, like, this dude is seriously hurt.
Yeah, and as Michael said, and then he did the full interview with Tracy Wolfson afterwards, didn't mention it, just, very proud of our table. He's got a broken ankle, and he's doing this whole thing. So we just spent a lot of time gushing about the Seahawks. it's a tale of two 1 seeds here. Seattle looks pretty well set up going into next week. The Denver Broncos, they'll be at home next week. What chance do you give them either against the Texans or the Patriots with Jarrett Stidham? By the way, a former Patriot.
I mean, listen, it's a blow. There's no slicing there's no talking one way or the other. It's a blow when you don't have your starting quarterback out there. And by the way, Jarrett Stidham, I don't think the last time he played meaningful game was in 2023.
He hadn't thrown a pass since the 2023 season. It was actually in January 24, and it was an interception.
Correct.
Yeah. So he hadn't thrown a pass in a game.
I mean, think about it. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Going into the AFC Championship
2 seasons without a pass.
Yeah, right. You're going up against either New England or Houston. Both of those teams have elite defenses. Yeah. So this is the challenge that Sean Payton and company is facing going into the AFC Championship game.
Now, it's no surprise here that the Broncos actually came into Saturday 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. But now, plus 370 following the win. But then all of a sudden the news came around that Bo Nix was hurt, and the odds jumped even longer than they were to start the day. I mean, that's not a real surprise, right? Because your starting quarterback is not going to be there for the most important game of the season to this point.
Kyle Shanahan.
All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Alfred Collins had a shoulder. He returned. Chris McCaffrey with a stinger. Came back for a little bit, but we ended up taking him out. Jake Tonjes had a foot, didn't return. D. Winters got evaluated for concussion, got cleared.
What do you tell your team after this game and after the season that you had?
We're real disappointed with today. We obviously didn't have it today. Credit to them. Try not to harp on that. I try to, we can discuss some of that stuff on Monday when we get back together. But I just thanked them for the whole season, how much they battled through everything. I know everyone in there was sick about tonight and the way that went in every facet. But I tried not to make about tonight when I was in there with them. Just kind of thanked them for what they've done all year, and been extremely, extremely proud of everyone in that room throughout this year.
Kyle, you had on the first drive, your first drive, there was fourth down. It looked like you had conversion. They blew it dead for a timeout. What was the explanation there? Did they say they just got the timeout in, and what was your kind of response?
Yeah, I was upset with it that we were able to run the play, but when it's noisy, I can't totally fault them for that. I don't know exactly how it happened. I didn't know that there was a timeout called, so I saw the play, and so did they, obviously. But sometimes when a coach calls a timeout, you can't get it all the way to the main guy, so it is what it is.
You seem to have some harsh words for Bernardo or some intense dialogue there. Could you give us any background on what was going on?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just coaching him on a certain play, a certain technique, and just coaching aggressively.
The long game after. You benched him briefly there. Was that related to a play that?
Yeah, we called him over to try to talk to him about a certain coverage, and then we got him right back in.
It's a long game, obviously, but that kickoff return, was that almost exactly what you cannot have happen? And did you feel like you were digging, climbing out a hole after that?
Not totally. If they score on the open and drive, it's the same issue too, So, it sucks when it's the first play and how that gets the stadium going and everything like that. But I thought we weathered that storm to a degree, It'd be nice to go down and answer right away. We got stopped on 3rd and 1 and stopped on 4th and 1. Then the next drive, we got the ball, we fumbled. So we gave them 2 scores like that and got down to a 17-0 deficit, which was tough and not at all what we wanted. I thought we weathered the storm when we made it 17-6. Was really hoping to go into the half at halftime with that score and would have felt pretty good about it based off how things went. I thought them converting that 3rd down on that last drive, they got the one on the penalty, I believe, if I'm remembering right, that allowed them to convert it. And on them scoring at the end of the second quarter, I thought was a huge deal in that game. That made us to where we had to answer on the first drive coming out, and we got stopped on 4th and 1 on that first drive coming out. And really after that, then the game was out of hand.
Your offense performed really well most of the season. Why do you feel it struggled so much the past 2 games against Seattle?
Because they got a really good defense. They got a real good defense. I liked how we came to play in that first half a lot more. I thought we were much more ready. I thought we were moving the ball. But when you get stopped on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, nothing counts for it. And then the next time up, we had a turnover with the fumble. And then when we got stopped on downs in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, then it was out of hand. And then we got away from the run, trying to get back into it. And that team doesn't give up big plays. That's why they're number 1 in the league over the last 2 years and not giving up big plays. And when you get down a lot, and it's going to be tough to get back if you can't generate those big plays.
How do you think Brock played? I think they only had a couple sacks, but he was running for his life a lot.
I thought, I mean, no one played perfect. No one played great today. No one coached great today. I mean, they got us pretty good. So, but I thought Brock made a number of plays out there. But on the second half, it got away from all of us.
Tyler, obviously this is fresh right now, but how do you process, the resilience you guys?
All right, let's head over to the winning side of Lumen Field. Mike Macdonald authored the largest win by a head coach in a playoff debut since John Madden in 1969.
First, just what an atmosphere! Holy smokes! The 12s, just our organization putting on a great setting. And it's just, you do actually try to take some time and look around and just understand how incredibly blessed we are, and with the best fans in the world, and it definitely made an impact, definitely to start the game, and so just want to appreciate this. That was awesome. It's freaking awesome. And in terms of our team, I mean, it's probably the most complimentary game we've played up to this point. Obviously starting the game out with the kickoff return for a touchdown was tremendous. Again, excited to see the blocks on that play, but a great return by Rashid, and then just, kept stacking plays. The takeaways on defense, kept playing. The quarterback's a hard guy to contain, and he makes plays, and so you can't get frustrated. You got to keep playing. And then offensively, being able to control the ball never being in jeopardy, being able to run it, scoring in the red zone, all those things we've been trying to do finally coming to life, and you just keep stacking those things, and it was a heck of a win, man. And it's funny, in the locker room, it's like, we're really excited, we're very proud of the effort, but the guys understand that there's still a mission at hand, and we got another week coming up here that we need to take care of business every day. So that's the focus. Proud of the group. We'll celebrate today. Guys will be off tomorrow and back on Monday.
When did you know for sure that Sam was going to play, and what was kind of the process there with getting him ready?
Well, I mean, from what we told you is how it was going down. It was just, there's hey, he could come out here and throw it and feel terrible, and then we would have to kind of pivot. But from what he was saying and what the guys were saying, the medical team was saying, it seemed like he was going to be able to give it a go. So that's basically what happened. And you felt like he was, based on his communication with us, it felt like he was confident. So that's where we're at.
What did you think about the way he played?
Tremendous. I mean, there's a couple plays early that I think to get in the swing of things, but I say manage the game as like a very high-powered compliment. Just throwing it on time, taking care of the ball, making the plays when we need to. I think there's going to be some more. There's some explosives out there that maybe we could get to, but I thought there's a lot of operation stuff that he did that was that really helped us as well.
Talking about field position and third downs in the last game we played the 49ers on defense. What was it tonight that you guys were the most?
Well, our kickoff team was tremendous. I mean, this is probably one of the best kickoff return teams in the league. I mean, Mike Morris had some tremendous plays. Reese Knight had some great plays. That really helped us, start those drives. So that was awesome. And then, we gave up some more third downs this game than we did last game, but the guys were able to really kind of regroup, go to the next play, and then I think some of those we ended up in some takeaways. So that was awesome. The fourth down stops, obviously flip field position, so that was huge.
I was going to ask you, in the way this league goes with people going on fourth down so much more, for a defense, what kind of, almost more than a turnover of the ball, what that does for you, because you get the field position benefit out of it.
Right, yeah, I mean, they don't count them as takeaways, but that's really what they are. And that's something, we started the year kind of slow on fourth downs on defense. And so to our coaches' credit and our players' credit, it's kind of like, hey, we identified that it's something we want to improve on, and, kind of work the problem. And the guys they come to life on fourth down. It's pretty cool.
What specific aspect of fourth down did you work on and improve?
Well, I think you just, you get what you emphasize. We talked about it. We prepped it more in practice, created more situations. That's simple,
Obviously, Shaheed's made a big difference, but you acquire him in season. You're head coach. You got a million things going on. I'm sure you're in consultation with personnel. But what did you have? What did you think you were getting? How much should you know?
Well, he was someone that I know that we were targeting throughout the process, and I mean that's John and the personnel folks. That's just made it come to life, So shout out to him. I mean. Turns out, it was a luxury initially, because of our receiver situation, but then with Torrey going down, it ended up being a great move. It was a great move initially. But from my perspective and the coach's perspective, he's a player that we really respect. When he's catching the ball on kickoff return, you're like, oh, here we go. We got to contain this guy. And then when he's on the field on offense, you can't let him get behind you as well. So, and then the receiver run game stuff is something you have to account for as well. So it really does help the team big time. So that was awesome. So shout out to John.
You talked about process all year long.
All right, so Mike Macdonald, the Seahawks will host again the NFC Championship game next Sunday in Seattle. Let's go back to that Bills-Broncos game for a moment, because 13 of Denver's 15 wins this season have been by comebacks, breaking a tie with the 2017 Eagles and last year's Chiefs for the most comeback wins in a single season, including the playoffs. They did this one in overtime. Both of those teams, by the way, reached the Super Bowl. More now from Sal Paolantonio.
After the game, I sat with head coach Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos in his office for about 10 minutes, and he told me the whole story of what happened with quarterback Bo Nix. When Bo Nix came to the sideline after setting up the game-winning field goal in overtime, Sean Payton told me he congratulated Bo Nix. And Bo Nix said to him, "Not so fast, coach. I think something happened to my ankle." After the game, he went into the x-ray room here at Empower Field at Mile High, and they found that his right ankle was fractured. Bo Nix was with his wife and his parents, and he was in high spirits, Sean Payton told me. He told me that Bo Nix will have surgery on Tuesday. He told me that he will gather the team soon, probably on Monday, to have a discussion about how they will go forward at the quarterback position in the AFC Championship game. He said he'll probably hear from his mentor, Bill Parcells, who will talk to him about how the New York Giants had to play with Jeff Hostetler in the Super Bowl when Phil Simms got hurt. He knows that his team is strong and that his quarterback is stronger, and that they will come through this and be all right in the AFC Championship game. At least, he said, that is the hope. In Denver, Sal Paolantonio, ESPN.
Neither quarterback from that game feeling particularly good right now. Josh Allen is 0-7 in his career in overtime games, tying Aaron Rodgers and Steve Grogan for the most overtime losses to begin a career by any quarterback ever. 3 of those losses have come in the playoffs, tying Peyton Manning and Rodgers for the most OT losses without a win in NFL playoff history. Here's Allen after another bitter season-ending loss.
How hard is it to just get here again and have this happen?
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Your emotions normally aren't this emotional for us. Is what has brought this on? It's
just missed opportunities throughout the game. It's been a long season. I hate how it ended, and it's going to stick with me for a long time.
I think it ended up being 5 turnovers overall. I know it just happened, but can you kind of take us into why it felt like you guys kind of got through?
Yeah, can't win with 5 turnovers. I fumbled twice, threw 2 picks. When you shoot yourself in the foot like that, you don't deserve to win football games.
Hey, Josh, having said that, does it add the frustration, kind of the way the game ended with a couple of questionable calls?
Yeah, I mean, losing that way regardless, losing in the playoffs is not fun, so.
Did you get an explanation on the Brandon Cooks play at the end?
No.
Can you process how the team was able to stay in the game all the way to that catch or interception play in overtime despite all the adversity?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's, again, we were battle tested all year. Down 2 scores at halftime. Come out, sack, fumble, hold them to 3. Find ourselves leading that game. And if 1 or 2 plays go our way, it's a different story.
Josh, the play at the end of the first half, you had 16 seconds, no timeouts. Why not just take a knee there and go into the half?
Just trying to be aggressive. Can't do that.
Josh, what did you say to your teammates after the game?
I haven't been doing a lot of talking other than I love my teammates, and I'm extremely sorry. I'm disappointed in how this ended.
Coach, you mentioned this has been a long year. Is there anything in particular that's sticking out to you about this season?
Not at the moment. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh.
I mean, the emotion's clear from Josh Allen, and he's seemingly putting everything on himself. He said, Woody, that he feels as if he let his teammates down. Did he?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you have 4 turnovers, that would do you in every time. And what's crazy is they had a total of 5 turnovers, and they had an opportunity to win that game.
Right. Yeah.
Up to this point, there wasn't a game that Josh Allen lost in the playoffs where I feel like he was the reason why they lost. This is the first time. And Josh Allen would tell, just like we just heard in that press conference, he took accountability for his play, some of the reckless turnovers in the game, but they had opportunity. But credit the Denver Broncos for ultimately coming out and winning it in the end. But this was a rough one by Josh Allen. 4 turnovers.
What's crazy about that is he had gone 6 straight playoff games without a turnover, which was tied for the most in history, and then he throws that clunker up there. I guess the question I would pose to you is, are they asking him to do too much? I mean, he doesn't have great skill position. He's got James Cook and a couple guys that catch the ball, but he doesn't have the talent that a lot of quarterbacks have.
I've always felt like they asked Josh Allen to do too much. I always felt like they asked him to put his cape on all the time. Because I think there's deficiencies on their roster where they're required to have Josh Allen put his cape on. I will say this. In the second half, clearly the Buffalo Bills at halftime made some adjustments defensively. They clearly came after Bo Nix a lot, which gave the Buffalo Bills an opportunity to come back and take the lead in the second half. But again, when you have turnovers, they will ultimately do you in, and that's why the Buffalo Bills are going home.
The narrative coming into this postseason for Josh Allen was this was the easiest route since he's been in the league for him as a quarterback to get to the Super Bowl. No Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, and now he goes out in this fashion with maybe his worst game ever in the playoffs. From where you sit, what does that do to that narrative that he can't win the big ones just like Lamar Jackson?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm pretty sure he thought about that. Like, dude, this is my time. I'm the best player on the field every time I step in one of these games.
There's not one team he would have played that would have been the second quarterback.
Correct. He would have been the best player on the field, and to come up short in the divisional round, it's got to be.
And that's why.
It's got to be. It's got to be heartbreaking. Yeah. Because every other time you run up against Mahomes and all, and this time the field, it was there for you, and you came up short in Denver.
Long-suffering Bills fans, just another chapter.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll see him again next year. By the way, next year, Josh Allen will be 30 week 1, so we'll see how it all plays out and whether the window perhaps is closing in Buffalo. Who knows? Anyway, the night game, Seahawks, big over the 49ers. Cooper Kupp here talking about his quarterback, Sam Darnold, dealing with an oblique injury.
I figured he was going to find a way to get out there. It's hard to tell. You don't know, guys, without him throwing or anything. But, I mean, he was out there at the walkthrough on Saturday. Like, he was told not to throw, and he's out there, pump faking. Everyone's like, dude, stop. Just please don't do anything stupid. So I figured with him pump faking as much as he was, he had to be feeling okay. But yeah.
What did you know?
Absolute domination by the Seahawks, taking full advantage of its home field advantage, the 1 seed. It's the Seahawks' 4th ever postseason as the 1 in the NFC. In each of the previous 3, they were NFC champs, including a similar beatdown of the Broncos in Super Bowl 48.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man. Obviously a good team, but I feel like we just sort of similar as the last game in terms of you need to capitalize on third downs and some of those 4th and shorts. That's what comes to mind first. And then, once we get down to the red zone, still finding a way to score touchdowns. And the field goals were great, yes, but I don't know. I just feel like, those turnover on downs were, spotting them good field position. Just feel like that was the theme of the game. So, yeah.
Al said he was sort of telling you guys don't feel so down. Obviously, it hurts to lose this game, but he was proud of what happened. Can you get there at this moment? Understand what this team kind of overcame?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're fresh out of a game, and our goal was obviously to come in here, win, and go to the NFC Championship game, and go from there. But obviously, when it just got taken away from us, and Kyle's talking to us just about the year, and you reflect a little bit, it does feel good just in terms of being reminded of like guys stepping up and the resiliency. Like the character and the heart of this team was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And so I know a lot of guys were saying that. Kyle said it. Trent Williams, like everyone feels it, like the heart, man. And so for us, it does excite us in terms of, we're going to regroup and get guys healthy and get back after it. And so we are excited for the future, but obviously.
All right, so we wrapped up the 49ers season with a terrible loss. Just your thoughts on that team moving forward with the team they have in place.
Well, I mean, listen, they still got pieces in place. You got to, what they're going to do with Brandon Ayuk. But they got great coaching, got a great core. They're just a year older, so we'll see how they.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all?